Hello and welcome everyone to yet another episode as we near our first anniversary at the Indie Football Podcast. After the highs and lows of the FIFA World Cup, club football has returned, and we thought why not talk about one of the most sought after teams in that regard, Manchester City. And for that, as you can clearly see, we have a Manchester fan with us called, and also the second member of the Negi family with us, Siddharth. Thank you, Siddharth, for taking out the time and doing this with us. How are you?
I'm fine, brother. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Even we are pretty excited to have you here, especially that we had Nirali with us, and ever since we keep talking to Nirali in that group that we have every time we have a Manchester City match. Siddharth, Man City has emerged as one of the force to reckon with you. So, please share with us your earliest experiences of following football, and while there have been many other pretty decently good teams, what made you gravitate towards becoming a City fan?
So, I started watching football back in 2012. So it was a very crazy journey for me. So we never had cable connection in our home. So I used to play FIFA with my brother, and I had zero idea about football or football players or teams. And he used to beat me like anything in FIFA. So he used to play with PSG, and his favorite player back then was Zlatan. So he used to call it Choti. So whenever he used to score, so he was like, "Dekh, Choti ne goal mara, Choti ne goal mara," and I used to get so irritated with it. And I was, just trying with different teams, and then eventually I started playing with Man City, and it felt like कि हाँ ये टीम अब थोड़ी सेट हो रही है, थोड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है. Players like Aguero, Dzeko, Company. Eventually I started winning with Man City, and it felt like something. And then I started asking him about Man City, and when I started watching those games live, seeing those players playing for real, that was some different feeling for me, and that's how I became Man City fan. And now, yeah, I'm a hardcore City fan, and thankfully my sister is also a City fan.
FIFA हमने बहुत खेला अपने टाइम पे. Seeing how the game of football or even fandom is uniting people, it's like beyond words, man. Like it's really nice to see, honestly.
I've literally bullied people with that FIFA game on PS3. If we follow one of the most recent matches that Manchester City has played, it was against Chelsea last night, and it was an important game. Siddharth, first reactions for you. How important was this 1-0 win for Manchester City?
Stamford Bridge away is always a tough fixture, and
yeah.
even before the game, I was pretty nervous. So I knew that City is going to struggle, but eventually City dished out a goal thanks to Riyad Mahrez and Grealish that gave an amazing assist. We managed to get 3 points out of that game because Chelsea at Stamford Bridge is always a dangerous team to play.
Totally, man. Yeah.
Anukar sir, I'd say that it was one of those matches where we have grown accustomed to City. They weren't at their best, but the substitutes combined to give them that crucial 3 points that would make Arsenal feel that their City is absolutely breathing right down their necks.
Honestly, like I was watching this match, the first half, I was like, okay, Chelsea have played very positive, but in the second half again, City scored that goal and Chelsea looks so listless after it. And honestly, plus Manchester City play a possession style of football, possession-based style of football. Like when they have the ball, it seems as if they won't ever lose the ball. It's so dominating, and City for me still look like the title favorites. Siddharth, honestly, people have said a lot of things about City not being this fluid this season as they have been in previous seasons. What are your thoughts on that, man?
See, I feel that, yes, even I feel that City is not in that fluent form. I feel that, Haaland is a target man. City is actually struggling at the same time with wingers. Like, City is actually missing pacey wingers like Leroy Sané. City is struggling, obviously, up front. Haaland is scoring most of the goals for Man City.
Manchester City has done much better than most of their rivals at the Premier League. Let's also talk a bit more in detail about the player that all of us have mentioned more than once in this podcast, about Erling Haaland. He has overtaken one of the most prominent names in the history of the Premier League. You know, Alan Shearer, Harry Kane.
Exactly.
Yeah, Siddharth, as a City fan, surely you have got a player that all other sides just look at Haaland and they feel that, gosh, only if we had a player like him with us. So, as a City fan who has got that kind of a weapon, how's life for you?
When I heard about Haaland coming to City, I was like, I don't believe this news. City was so close to sign Messi, and then City was so close to sign Ronaldo, and then eventually, out of nowhere, Haaland came in the picture. And I think, just not being as a City fan, I'm saying this, but honestly, even as a neutral fan, everyone would think that Haaland made the perfect choice by joining Man City. I believe that Haaland is surely going to grow under Pep Guardiola. So you have so many players who is going to assist him throughout the season. Even Bernardo Silva is there, Riyad Mahrez is there, Grealish is there. So Haaland is surely going to be here for long.
Anukar sir, I'll ask you, and I ask you this because I've also heard why people have different kinds of opinions about Haaland. Some people say that if he has got 4 5 absolutely successful seasons with City, even less 3 or 4, he might want to go over to another part of the country and another part of the world and ply his trade over there. So, do you think he'll opt for something like this, or do you feel he's gonna stay at the Premier League for as long as
I
possible?
think his father, Alfie Haaland, had pointed it out that the plan for him is that he will stay 2.5 years in Germany, 2.5 years in England, 2.5 years in maybe Spain. So that was like the initial plan for him. So let's see how that goes. Having said that, with how much City is paying him, and with the price tag he's coming up with, I don't know if any team would be able to afford him. Maybe I think he's the best striker in the world in terms of present form. Erling Haaland is as good as it